Assalamualaikum, I'm Nazri Shahnaz from Shahnaz Interiors in Berhad. So today we'll be talking about a topic that I recently covered during an event of Asian Healthcare 2023, and the topic is new typology in hospital design. Interior designers are no longer just designing to fill the space within the built environment, but rather we create experience within the hospitals. With COVID-19 still raging around the world, I think we would see a true global transformation as a result of it, and we, interior designers, architecture, must be prepared to have a better planning for our design in hospitals. There are a few elements that we identified have changed over the past 3 years after COVID-19, which are: number 1, modular design; number 2, biophilic design; number 3, furniture; number 4, lighting; number 5, material and finishes; number 6 is hotel-like interiors. When we say modular system, it is often reviewed as prefabricated building system. Yes, that's true, and it is also being said that prefabricated is considered one of the most effective and efficient way of building construction nowadays because it is least expensive, and number 2, it saves time, and number 3, it is actually saving in terms of tax because the depreciation years is 7 years as comparison to 30 years using traditional method. Actually, prefabrication is not just limited to building system, but rather can be used for built-in as well. What I mean is that built-ins can actually be fabricated in a large quantity with just a few modular system, with only some elements of it are being fabricated as per site condition. For example, the top where it is laminated or solid surface. So the advantages of this is that first, it's quality; number 2 is uniformity; and number 3 is the speed of executions. Understanding the hecticness of hospital schedules, I think this would be the most important elements, because in the case of damage and also destroyed, the best way to dismantle, refabricate and reinstall would be prefabricated built-ins. The second typology that we'll be discussing would be biophilic design. Of course, when we talk about construction, the main issue would be cost, and biophilic architecture is actually costing more than other commercial buildings, and sometimes it costs more than its initial budget. However, biophilic architecture is not just a topic or a concept. It is actually proven, validated by scientific research, by endocrinology, neuroscience, that it gives a positive impact to patients, families and its caregivers. Understanding that there's an issue has been highlighted over and over again since COVID-19, which is staff shortage and staff retention. Understanding that this happened because of the burnout in a hospital during COVID and also post-COVID, we at Shahnaz Interiors has been secretly campaigning to hospital operators that healing spaces are not just for patients. It needs to also be inclusive to staff as well, because staff need to feel appreciated. They need to feel very much acknowledged for all their hard works, and because of that, we encourage for hospital operators to have a small space for them to relax, recuperate, collaborate and such. Not only that, if we can have a garden, a 2 separate garden, one for patient and one for staff. The reason being is that maybe we can allow staff to take their time to get away for a while, relax, and then only get back when they feel much better. Element number 3 is furniture. When we talk about furniture, let's face it, we actually buy and change furniture over multiple times over the lifetime of our hospital of perhaps 30 years. So hospital operators that I usually meet is always having headaches on replacement, finding new loose furnitures and then maintaining that loose furnitures. Reason being is that due to the traffic heavy flow of patients in and out in a hospital every day, it reduces the life cycle of the product even more significantly. In addition to that, it is the case of vandalism. My suggestion is that hospital operators must consider products maintenance period given by manufacturers as one of the most important decision making prior to selections or purchasing. In addition to that, other aspect that they need to consider is that, for example, weight. The weight of the product, the weight that the product can withstand, from 150 kilos to 450 kilos. Durability. Most products need to be tested in factory over 100,000 times before they're even being brought to the site. And then number 3 would be perhaps safety in terms of whether or not the product has flame retardant. It is reported by WHO that anxiety cases has been increased worldwide 25% among young adults and also women. So because of this, hospital operators must also consider risks such as aggression, safety to own and to others, infection control as part also as one of the elements that they need to consider prior to selecting loose furniture. Latest trend in furniture is hybrid furniture, where it is often favoured by architect and also ID consultant because it gives an efficient space planning. Reason being is that it has multiple functions within a single furniture. So for example, instead of having a single furniture at the ward, maybe we can have recliners with functions such as inclination, support for arm and height. Another consideration would be to customize furniture. Reason being is that understanding that there's multiple risks and multiple cases out there that need to be addressed. For example, caring for patient for dementia, caring for patient for bariatric, in support of postures and such may need loose furniture to be customized, but don't worry, it not necessarily be expensive because customized loose furnitures most of the time are more durable and long lasting. Next, we are talking about lighting. Unfortunately, most of the hospitals are not bright enough during the day nor dark enough during the night. Because of that, research says that it is not efficient enough for caregivers or relaxing enough for even patients. Another research has shown that certain amount of blue spectrum can actually alter the natural body productions of melatonin. Because of that, hospital must consider circadian lighting, whereby it limits the emissions of blue lighting during the day and also during the night, hence cultivates or even optimize the natural body productions of melatonin, hence facilitates sleeps, thus encourage more of healing for patients. Circadian lighting is not about a single luminaire, it's not about an isolated space, but rather illuminating the whole environment as a whole. Next element would be material and finishes. So understanding what's happening nowadays, it is essential and really important that hospital must consider and only allow finishes that is easy to clean, non-porous, no joint, no right angle, to give the perceptions to patients and caregivers that this environment is safe and clean for them. My recent experience in a bank, Citibank, gave me a pleasure of sharing this with you, that in the lift there's a small sign saying that this lift has been sanitized every 1 hour. And I like that because it gave me a feeling of safety. I feel safe in that environment. I feel kept by the management, and because of that, I think it's essential that other hospitals do consider having this in their hospital as well and not limiting it to just lift. Maybe we can try other areas like handles, doors and such. And I am yet to see it being implemented in other hospitals. There's an increased focus also in material that is easy to clean and it is antimicrobial, such as metal and plastic, because it is seen to be easy to be disinfect and also easy to be clean. But yet we need to explore this further in terms of its maintenance. It is also popular nowadays to have robots roaming around in our hospitals. We call it as UV disinfection robots, carrying or spraying dry fog, and their purpose is actually to roam around within their space and time to actually kill residual contamination or hospital associated infections or contaminations. So it is not an excuse to reduce number of cleaning staff, but it is actually to give an additional layer so that the environment is confirmed and safe for patients and caregivers. Next element would be hotel-like interiors in a hospital. So it is becoming very common to have hospitals resembling luxury hotels, with especially the 5-star hospitality and patient-centric approaches. And I welcome this with a full-hearted, because usually hospitals are seen to be very scary place. And the idea is to offer interiors so that they forget that they are in a hospital environment. There's a research done in 2012 in US, whereby it is being highlighted that additional or non-clinical attributes actually weight more to patient rather than the clinical reputations. So because of this, I am seeing a pattern that is also changing not just in US but in Malaysia as well. Rather than just focusing on interior only, we now need to unite between design and technology. What if we can give the patient the environment that resembles home or hotels, and then we incorporate technology into their phones that give them controls of the whole environment of the ward itself. For example, they can actually order their food from their phone. They can actually navigate their Netflix from their phone to the hospital TV, and also give them the freedom to actually check on their next scheduled specialist consultant visits. At Shahnaz, our idea of interior design is to give them environment that is healing through natural elements that is comforting enough, healing enough, together with natural color palettes that is calming yet inviting and cheerful. We use joineries to hide medical equipment, even though it's just visually not there. At least give them the comfort of feeling not being at hospitals, not scaring them, letting them feel relaxed and healing them at their own time. Maybe we can add the warmth of home together with a bit more softer fabric, a bit more harmonizing colors in their wards. As you can see, most of the elements that I have touched here are so multi-layered and multi-dimensional that we need to constantly and consistently research on it. By a matter of fact, I also applaud the Malaysian Ministry of Health for tabling their white papers to show also their commitment towards betterment of Malaysian healthcare system. And in addition to that, we at Shahnaz Interiors also pledge that we would do all our best to also provide smart hospitals for government and also private, and at the same time give patients what they deserve, which is a healing environment and ability for them to heal in a shortest span of time. We must work towards the end of sick care and towards healthcare and wellness. And by doing this, we actually must progressively benchmark ourselves with other neighboring countries such as Thailand and Singapore, which they are now doing much better than what we are having right now. So as a recap, these are the latest typology in hospital design that I have seen change in the past. Modular design, biophilic, furniture, lighting, material and finishes, hotel-like interiors. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Nazri Shahnaz from Shahnaz Interiors India Berhad.